All right, so we're going to get started today with our third social work research hour on Google Scholar and citation searching. So we'll talk today a little bit about how to find information based on what others have cited and to see what other papers have cited your paper that you're looking at. So we are going to get started by going to Google Scholar, scholar.google.com. Some of the reasons that you might want to actually search Google Scholar as opposed to searching in the Simmons databases, as we talked about before, is that Google Scholar has sort of a wider range of materials. The only issue with Google Scholar is that it can be a little bit tougher to find what you want. And also, there might be some information in there that it has not been vetted to sort of the standards as of the information that's in the Simmons library. So just an extra layer of awareness on your part, and you should be fine to search to find articles in Google Scholar. So the first thing we're actually going to do is to add Google Scholar to to add the Simmons library to your Google Scholar account. And this is helpful when you are doing a search either in Google Scholar or in the Simmons library. It allows them to talk to each other so that you can get articles that are in the library that might not actually be in full text, but you can find them in full text in Google Scholar and sort of vice versa. So you're going to want to click on the little hamburger on your upper left-hand side when you're on Google Scholar. Make sure you're signed into your Simmons Mail account. You're going to go to the little gear icon, and then library links. And you can see here I already have Simmons University check Simmons full text, but if I didn't, I would just type in Simmons University here. It would bring up this, and you would just click enter, add it to your library, and then click on save. So since I already had that, I will not do that. So we're going to kind of continue the same search as we did before. We're going to look up substance use disorder. So as you can see, a very quick search on that gives us over about 2.5 million results, which is far too many to use to actually look through, but it's going to give you a lot of the more relevant results first. So if you see that there are links over here, you can actually get the PDF if there is a PDF link or an HTML. And because you've connected your Simmons account to your Google account to Simmons Library, you can actually look up the Simmons full text there as well. So since we're looking at citation searching today, so let's say we have found some articles that are really good, but we want to see which other articles are related to those articles. So for example, this first article here, you can see that it has been cited by 688 other journal articles, which is pretty good. So that kind of gives you an extra layer of like, hey, maybe this is actually like something that's really good and also a trending topic in research. So if we click on cited by 688, this will give us the articles that it is cited in. Now, let's say we want to search within these articles. You can do that by clicking the search within citing articles. And let's say we want to look at alcohol. So it looks like 448 of those results look at alcohol use disorders. So you can kind of continue that. Just note that you can do a custom range or a time range on here, just the same way as you can do in the Simmons resources. It's sorting by relevance right now, but you can sort it by date to see the most recent articles. All right, so those are some pretty cool things that you can do. And you can search it, of course, by abstracts or everything. So let's go back to Google Scholar and look up substance use disorder once more. If you click under related articles under this, that's going to give you some articles that have the same types of topics. So that will also kind of give you the the information related to what may have been cited, what this may have cited in this article itself. So Google Scholar is really useful for looking in citations. We didn't really talk about why you would want to do a citation search, but that could be for a number of different reasons, such as you really like the information in an article and you want to see how credible the article is, how credible the information is, who has used it, who agrees with the research, or maybe has written an article saying that they do not agree with the research, or that kind of negates what they've said. You might also be looking for a specific topic, and it's very easy to find an article about your topic and then look at the other articles which are probably similar that they have cited. So that's a great way if you're kind of looking, you're having trouble finding articles related to a pretty specific topic. This is a great way to do it. Okay, so that is Google Scholar searching. Just kind of note that when you search Google Scholar, you're searching like you're searching in Google. So the ands and the ors are not going to work. If you wanted to do, substance use disorder, and you wanted to make that a specific phrase that it's searching for, you're going to want to put the quotations around it. Instead of, if something is coming up that is not what you want, you're going to want to use the little minus sign. Let's say you want to look up substance use disorder, but you don't want any results that have to do with alcohol. You can do this search, and this will give you those results. So you can also look up either a YouTube video or some kind of little guide for how to sort of be a power searcher in Google. And there are some really interesting ways that you can use Google to get the results that you want beyond just typing your inquiry in. Okay, so the second thing that I wanted to show you today is the Scopus index, which is also a great way to find citations and find sort of linked citations. So if we go back to the Simmons Library page, simmons.edu/library, we go into databases, and S for Scopus index. So this is an index search. This is, I would like to continue as a guest. If it asks you that, you can probably say guest. This is not a database where you're going to find full text in it, but this is a database where you can find articles related to other articles. So let's do the same search that we've been doing, substance use disorder, and you can search this database pretty similar to actually sort of a hybrid between the Simmons databases and Google Scholar. So you can see, for example, they do use quotation marks, but they also use the and function. So if you are looking to kind of do a more advanced search, I would go to advanced search or search like this. But we're just going to do a quick substance use disorder search. Okay. So we kind of look down, see what we want. Some of them do have open access privileges, so you are able to probably get the article right from there. If I click on one article that I like, I can see on the right-hand side that it has so far been cited by 0 other documents. That's not that unusual, especially since this technically hasn't even come out yet. I would not expect it to be cited by anything. But you can look for related documents here. So that may be things that it has cited or that have the same sorts of topics. So we're going to go back and let's find something that's a little bit older. So if we do view more, let's go back to 2013. Okay, so we want to limit it to 2013. And you can kind of see on the right-hand side here, we're starting to see some citations. So this has been cited by 8 people, 8, 14, 12. So if you're looking at sort of, if you want to find a more popular article, you can look at that type of information. So if we go into this one, it starts giving you actual metrics, like how, that basically say like how popular was this information, how big did this article get? And we can look at the citations that have used this article. And as you see, they're mostly like 2019. So that's a great way to look for things, especially in the sciences and in social work and those kinds of areas. If you pop the title right in here, you should be able to find some information about who cited it, how many times, and what it has cited. So those are sort of 2 ways to do citation searching. I'm going to show you a little bit in the Simmons library right now. So if we go to databases, and we're going to go to Social Index, which is of course everyone's favorite social work database. Social Index with full text. And we're not going to add anything to the search under choose databases right now, but I'm going to do substance use disorder. And do that search. And you can also get some of the same information from here. So you can see cited references and times that this article was cited within the information in this database. Which means that it was maybe cited, it might have been cited elsewhere, maybe not. This is only available for some articles, as you can see. If we click in there, we should be able to see a little more information about citations. Yep, up near the top, if we go to cited references, 72, this will tell us what the records were that it was actually cited in. So that can be helpful. And of course, it's always a great idea if you are actually reading an article and you see something that you want in the references there, just go ahead and put the title right into the library search box. Once you do, you might get some results that don't really make sense, but if you change it to title and you have the long title there and search for that, you should get some results based on that type of searching. Okay, so those are sort of the primary ways to do citation searching and to find citations and to find sort of related articles to the ones that you are finding that are actually useful to you.